Let's talk a little bit about how your dream car, your happy place, is. It's going to screw you over, and I mean it's going to screw you good. It's gonna put it right to you. I need a haircut. Hey, holy hell! I'm disheveled. I look like I just jumped out of the 915 boxcar on the way to Minnesota. Anyways, let's talk about how this Cheval. That's a nice French Canadian name, hey? Chevrolet or Cheval. So this Cheval here, for the fella who owns this car here, it's going to take a bunch of swings at him. And there's no two ways about it. It's going to happen. And a lot of it he's not going to see coming, just like if you're not a seasoned veteran at this shit, meaning that you've already spent millions of dollars on it for a little reward at the end, you're probably not going to see it coming either. So maybe I can enlighten you a little bit on the 1-2 you're going to take, and maybe a 3-4, and a kick right in the old beanbag, because you're going to get it, and it's coming. Sometimes it's more obvious than others, and actually I got a couple of examples here on site. So let's talk about this one first, because this one's a little more obvious. One of the first obvious things that you probably could find somewhere is evidence that this isn't a black car. It's a black car, but it's not a black car. This is a green car, and now it's black. So this thing has, hey, just a minute. This thing has some good evidence that nothing is going to go well. So we got some rust. Yeah, there's some rust. So when you're looking at this, you're thinking, okay, well, it needs quarter panels and stuff, which it does, obviously. But a good indication, so this side's pretty bad. We got a lot of this kind of stuff here. But something to look at when you're looking at something, a lot of times, is the extent of things. Now, when we look at this side, now, do you see how big that is? However you want to describe that, the offending matter. The reason that looks like that it looks like a big wad of cow shit on the side of this car, is because that's a big wad of cow shit on the side of this car. When it bubbles up like that, it's because there's a lot of product underneath that unsuspecting black exterior. Now, there's not just going to be a lot of product on that other quarter panel that we were just looking at. There's going to be a lot of product everywhere. Like where it's flaking back here. Here, let me get you a hunk. Come here now. It's thick. Like, you see how it comes off? Like, it comes off in big chunks. That's because it's thick. That means that there's a lot of product on there. So where that's going to boot you in the balls is you're looking at the car when you buy it, and you're thinking, well, it needs a little of this, a little of that. Paint her up, it'll be nice. Well, shit's happening, right? It's already happening. It's festering up and it's happening. So if you don't address all of it, it's going to keep happening. And you're going to pay somebody, what's the fantasy? You're going to pay somebody $4,200 to restore and paint your car. Because that's what everybody thinks it costs, right? That's all it should cost, about $4,000. But you're going to pay somebody $4,287 plus tax to restore and paint your 71 Cheval, and then, I don't know, you'll get that done early in the year, you'll drive it this summer, then next summer shit's going to start happening. You're going to walk out into the garage in November, and there's going to be a hunk of your fender laying on the floor. And it's not going to be the work that you just had done that's going to fall off. It's going to be the work that's underneath that work. It's going to be that big wad of cow shit on the other side. Because I guarantee you, that same cow, he shit down there. And that cow, he got a little bit of shit over there. I'll bet you that cow shit on the roof here somewhere. Because this, I mean, it's just the way, that's the way the cookie bounces. That's the way it goes. If you haven't stepped in that cow shit before, if this is your first time in the pasture, it's going to catch you by surprise. But if you've cleaned your boots off a few times, you know it's coming. This guy has never cleaned his boots off before. I've tried to make it known to him that there's going to be a lot there, and I don't know what's going to be there. If it's tall grass, you can't always see the cow shit. How's that for an example? And I mean, this is pretty tall grass. You know what I'm saying to you? You feel me? So that's going to get you, that's going to kick you, and that's going to be a big kick. And that's just the shiny stuff. I have over here a Firebird. Let's take another walk. So I got a Firebird over here that I've been working on quite a bit. And now this car, it wasn't bad because this car was original paint. So the body, there was no shits hiding. It was all surface. It was all bird shit laying on the top, right? It's not cow shit in the deep grass. However, this car is becoming kind of a boot in the berries because this is a young fella who owns this car, and he's never had to wipe his boots off on the other pasture because I'm doing all the mechanical work and stuff on this car. Now I'm putting the car together, and I mean, there's a lot that goes on here, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't know that the car needs because I didn't take the stuff off. If that makes any sense to you. I don't know what's missing and what's got to be there. And I don't know where the stuff's got to go until I'm trying to put it together. And then I'm going, well, where does this go? Oh, well, this plugs into one of those. Well, I don't have one of those. Well, I got to get one of those. Well, I got to do this to that and plug that into this before I realize that, oh, well, it needs one of those over there too. Well, son of a bitch, where's that? Go digging in the parts bin. Well, it's not there. Well, I got to get one of them too. And then if you do modifications to it, so put power steering stuff on it. Well, I mean, I don't know the way every car is built. So them brackets on the alternator, had to get a pair of them. There's a bracket that goes with that power steering pump in there. Had to get one of those. It's not a kit. And the big bracket, power steering bracket, they don't make it. So I found one on eBay and bought. Got to assemble that stuff before I realize whatever else it needs. Each one of those little pecks and pecks and pecks, I mean, they wind up to being, it's like sticking each individual toe into a boot, and then you take that boot and you get kicked right in the nuts with it. Here's another car over here. Now this one, I got a lot of shit in here, hey? Son of a bitch. Now this one is really quite subtle. Now you look at this car, and you think, wow, that's got the old rake on it, hey? It's because of them big front wheels. We went even smaller than 14s on this car. Anyways, you look at this car from here, and about the worst thing you see is the gas tank peeing down the quarter panel back there. And this guy bought this car. I've done a few cars for this guy, and he gets it. He knows that, I mean, once we pull the covers back, it ain't going to be silk sheets underneath those covers, right? He already knows that, so we'll be okay. However, in walking around this car that is really quite nice, stuff that he didn't notice. See how that don't look right? Well, he noticed that crack, but he didn't really pay attention to that. That's because there's a lead seam there that's leaping off of there. Some stuff, though, now that's a little more obvious, but some stuff that isn't quite as obvious, that you only catch in the certain light of the day, and I don't know if I can get it here for you. You see the way this looks like oatmeal on here? Is that showing up? There you go, you see all that? Now, the owner has noticed that, but he doesn't really know what he's looking at. I do. Now what that is that we're looking at here, see the way it's all bubbles and stuff? That's lacquer underneath this blue. And that is lacquer that's coming off. Now I don't know exactly why that lacquer is coming off. It's going to have something to do with what's underneath that lacquer, I'm guessing. I could take a razor blade and scrape a big chunk of that off and see what's under there, but we're not at that point with this car yet. So when you look at it and think, okay, well, the trunk lid's got some problems. What do you think? Well, do you think just the trunk lid was painted on this car? That's kind of where his head was at. Well, the trunk lid has some problems. So he drops it off, and I take a quick walk around it, and I'm pretty positive I won't be able to pick it up. But anyways, we got the same action starting here. I looked up at the roof. And right here, you see, I mean, there's a lot of shit in the roof, but some shit is different. And right here, that's the same as what's on that trunk lid is starting to bubble up. That's a doink in the beanbag. That's a big kick in the balls. And the bigger kick in the balls is, we just had the discussion yesterday on this car about how it's really not conducive, that's a good word, hey, to spending your money to fix this area. He's going to put a bunch of fiberglass parts on the car, so that'll take care of that. I mean, fix that area, fix this area, fix that area. Where'd I go? And then just sand and paint the whole car. Well, I told him, I don't want to do that. Because he signed them paint the whole car, and then the door starts doing that next year with my paint on it, underneath my paint. And he phoned me up and he say, Tony, you arsehole, what's going on with my door? And I say, go back and find out who painted the car before you got it. And ask them what's going on with your door. Because we should have stripped it down to bare steel to get all that shit off of there. When you buy the car, are you expecting that? Probably not. I mean, if you're going to set a budget that you're going to stick to, well, then you're going to have to make some sacrifices, and you're just going to have to live with whatever it is, and you're going to have to be prepared to maybe sell that car in a year when shit starts going south on it, because you've already spent some money on it, and you don't want to spend no more. And it happens a lot. And do you know how you can recognize that it's happened? When you read a for sale, I guess you don't read for sale ads like that anymore, do you? When you're looking at a for sale ad for something, there's one phrase that will tell you what's going on with that vehicle every time. And you read it a lot. My loss is your gain. Is it? That says a lot. My loss is your gain. You know what that means? You can probably figure out what that means. That means that somebody's wrote a whole lot of checks on that car, and he wrote a check on something, and then a week later, he took one right to the bean bag. So then he wrote out a check for that, and then he took one right up the arse. And that happened often enough that he's tired of getting beat up. So that's it. I'm out of it. A lot of times you will wind up having to pay somebody to find out that you ain't going to go any further. And a lot of times it's going to wind up being stripping a car down and then sending it off to be blasted. So you got a lot of time in stripping that car down, and then if you send it off to be blasted, they don't blast nothing for free. I don't know where it costs to get stuff where you blasted, but where I live to get stuff blasted, it costs good money. And I mean, and it ain't monopoly money. It's good money they want to do that shit. So chances are you're going to spend whatever you're spending. Let's say you're going to spend $8,000 on your car that you know needs a bunch of work. You're going to spend another week and $2,500 to get the car stripped apart and down to bare steel to just come have a flat deck and haul it away because it's scrap metal and it's garbage, and you've already got 10 grand into that car. So do you spend another 70 grand on the car, or do you just take your parts that you've got, try to sell off what you can, and see if you can get a couple $1,000 back, and then probably never build a car because holy jumpins. You know what I'm noticing standing here? This is funny. I don't know if the camera will pick this up. This car's two different colors. Look at that blue, and look at that blue. Is that showing up for you? See how that's really lighter and pastel-y, and that's bluer? That's kind of funny. Huh. The other way it's going to get you won't necessarily be that much of a surprise. So what's going to happen? Now you see that in there? Look at it. So now when the outside of this car is nice, this particular example is going to be like charcoal gray on the outside. We're not going to fake an SS or nothing like that on it. But it's going to be like charcoal gray and stuff on the outside, and that's all going to be nice and new. But what's going to wind up happening, and it happens all the time, and I mean it happens all the damn time, is once stuff looks nice and it's nice, quite nice, that's quite nice, you start looking at stuff, you start looking at your door whiskers and your belt moldings, and you start thinking, well, I don't really want to put that back on there. Let's get some new ones of those. And you look at your sill plates in here, and you think, well, I mean, there's been a lot of shit kickers dragged back and forth across those. Let's get a new pair of them. Oh, there's a couple of cracks in my rubber. I really don't like the way that rubber looks. Oh, hell, look at that. The dash pad's been dyed. It was a red dash pad. It's been dyed black. Better get a new dash pad. I mean, the carpet's cheap. But you know, by the time you start doing all that, and that's not just in here, but I mean, this is going to be one of the first places that it happens, is in here. This shit's all expensive. On the outside, you're going to take your headlight doors or your grills or whatever, your emblems, you know, stuff like that, and you're going to look at it and go, oh, that's actually pitted up a little more than I thought. I didn't really notice that. I should get a new set of those. I should get a new one of these. I wonder if this comes as a package, you know, for this, and that, and this. Yeah, I thought this trim around the glass, it was alright, but it's got a couple of dents in it. I should get some new stainless around the windshield. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And before you know it, that's a lot of cha-chinging. So in closing, I submit to you as a final statement, if you want to restore a car or build a hot rod, you best limber up, because you're in for a fight.